What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Now this week's episode is gonna be it's gonna be interesting to say the very least. Excuse me. Because in this week's episode I'm gonna be talking about how the draft can affect NXT and which superstars are most likely to join the main roster. But before we get into today's video, guys, we are now officially 37 subs away from 200. We are drawing closer and closer to the goal. Obviously, there is still a long way to go, but I know that we can pull this off. And as I've said in previous videos, if this channel gets to 200 subs, I will open up this Korean Strike of Neos booster box in its entirety on the channel. Yes, it is taped under the right light. You can actually see it's taped right here. On the hopes to potentially pull this guy, Elemental Hero Air Neos. However, if the channel gets to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box on the hopes to potentially pull this creature, this girl, Blue Eyes White Dragon. Yes, in the lore, in the lore of the Blue Eyes White Dragon, it is actually a female, ironically enough. Dark Magician, perhaps even the head of Exodia. Maybe we might pull a Korean rare Pot of Greed. Who the hell knows? But if the channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel. Both of these I actually got from my partners over at Collector Store, so be sure to check them out. Link will be in the description below. If you guys are in that area and you guys want to check them out physically, their address will also be in the description as well. Be sure to look for Ben and let him know that I sent you. He's an awesome dude. Shoutouts to him. Shoutouts to the store. I'm under the impression I might have bought the last Korean LOB box that they had in stock, because when I checked their website, it said out of stock. So I might have gotten the last one, but who knows? But if you guys want to see these boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue. Maybe you guys want episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's biggest issue. Maybe some card discussions, deck profiles, WWE topics. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys have not done so already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Turn on the notification bell. Follow me on all of my social media. My ads. Hang on, guys. There's something underneath my camera. There we go. Anyway, move this up a bit. There we go. As I was saying, if you guys want all those videos and more, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Turn on the notification bell. And follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well, if you guys want to send me fan mail and want me to open it up on the channel. So, as far as the draft goes, we don't know much about the draft. We don't know the rules of the draft. Who's who's gonna get, which brand is gonna get what picks. We don't know. The only thing that I'm under the assumption of is that the rules might apply to the last draft we got, which was what, 2 years ago, and I believe it's going to be one pick per brand, one pick, alternating picks. I guess you will. So Raw will get one pick, SmackDown will get one pick, and it will just alternate like that, with a few superstars from NXT joining the fray. Right now, the roster for NXT is absolutely loaded. We've got to go, because right now I'm on WWE.com on their superstar list. And I'm under the, the NXT banner, and right now I'm looking at the roster. It is loaded. We've got Alba Fire, Amari Miller, who we haven't seen in months due to an injury, from what I've been hearing. Andre Chase, Apollo Crews, Ava, Axiom, Boa, Braun Breaker, Brooks Jensen, Brutus Creed, Cameron Grimes, Carmelo Hayes, the new NXT champion, Channing Stacks Lorenzo, Charlie Dempsey, Cara Jade, Damon Kemp, Dante Chen, Dijak, Dragon Lee, Duke Hudson, Eddie Thorpe, Adris Sanofe, Electra Lopez, Elton Prince, Fallon Henley, Gigi Dolan, Grayson Waller, Guru Raj, who we haven't seen in quite some time. I think he's also out with an injury. I don't know, but he was one of the guys that got signed to WWE as part of that premium live event that WWE did a while back, called Superstar Spectacle. Excuse me, which was supposed to have been which was a premium live event dedicated to new and upcoming talent who either were born and raised in India, or who were basically Indian descent, if you will, which was pretty cool. Hank Walker, Ikemen Jiro, who is another one we haven't seen in months due to injury. Ilya Dragunov, Indy Hartwell, the NXT Women's Champion. Isla Dawn, the other half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, alongside Alba Fire. Ivy Nile, JC Jane, Jagger Reed, Javier Bernal, JD McDonough, Joe Coffey, Joe Gacy, Josh Briggs, Julius Creed, Katana Chance, Kaden Carter, Kiana James, Kit Wilson, Lash Legend, Lyra Valkyria, Malik Blade, Mark Coffey, Mako Satomura, who we haven't, we haven't seen her since Roadblock, when she when she took Roxanne Perez to the absolute limit, which was an instant classic. Nathan Fraser, Nikita Lyons, who's out with an injury. We still don't know who attacked her, though. That we don't know. Who knows? We have as well Noam Dar, the NXT Heritage Cup champion, in which I'm pretty sure if Noam Dar did indeed get jump shipped over to the main roster, he would just bitch and moan about it like he did the last time he was on the main roster. And if you guys are wondering about that, what was it, back in 2018, 2019? When 205 Live was still around, Noam Dar kept bitching and moaning, saying that he wasn't getting any of these opportunities at the Cruiserweight title, that he was being he felt like he was being disrespected, and he was like, you know what, fuck this, I'm going over to NXT UK, where I would really be appreciated. And for the most part, he did get several opportunities at that, and now he's the only two-time Heritage Cup champion in NXT history, which is pretty impressive. I will give him that. Odyssey Jones, Oro Mensah, Quincy Elliott, Rip Fowler, Roderick Strong, who's still out with a back injury from what Damon Kemp did sometime last year. Roxanne Perez, Sangha, Scripps. Yeah, Scripps. Who would have ever thought Reggie would want to go back to NXT? Who would have ever thought, right? Like, I certainly didn't. Sol Ruka, Stevie Turner, Tatum Paxley, Thea Hale, Tiffany Stratton, Tony D'Angelo, Trick Williams, Tyler Bate, Valentina Feroz, Veer, Von Wagner, Wendy Chu, Wes Lee, Wolfgang, Zion Quinn, Ulysses Leon, who is also out with an injury, and of course Zoe Stark. There are others as well, like Tank Ledger, Tavion Heights. There's quite a few. There's quite a few. And the funny thing is that there are literally six superstars among this list that are slated to be on the main roster sooner than later. Axiom, Braun Breaker, Cameron Grimes, Ilya Dragunov, Roxanne Perez, and Tyler Bate. Bate, because the thing about Bate is that he's at a point right now in his career where he doesn't need to be on NXT. He has no, the way I see it, and based on the fact that we haven't seen him on NXT all that much, I'm under the impression we might see him in the main roster. But the question is, what brand is he going to? Raw or SmackDown? Honestly, I would want him on SmackDown for three reasons. One is because if he were to challenge Roman Reigns for the undisputed Universal title, he can take Roman Reigns beyond his limit. That's how good Tyler Bate is. That is how good the big strong boy truly is. The second reason is because of Butch, or Pete Dunne. Butch has been a part of the main roster for well over a year. And has dominated WWE ever since. Taking guys like Gunther, guys like the Usos, guys like Sami Zayn to the absolute limit, and not only that, they were once members of the European faction known as British Strong Style, alongside Trent Seven, who we haven't seen in WWE in quite some time. Maybe we might see Trent Seven come back to WWE and join the main roster. Is it possible? Yes, but at the same time, if he were to join the main roster, he would just be a heel like he was when he and Bate lost the NXT UK tag team titles. But another reason is Gunther. Gunther took Tyler Bate to the absolute limit at NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff, where it was him and Bate for the title. It was nasty. It was nasty. Now on to Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez, she's already done everything that she wanted to do. NXT Women's Champion, NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, the first ever NXT Women's Breakout Tournament winner, the first ever Women's Iron Survivor at Deadline. She's already done everything that there is to do in NXT. I think her time is up. I think her time in NXT is up. I think it's time for her to jump ship over to the main roster and just have a ball. Dragunov, pretty much the same thing. I know he still has a lot of business left. In NXT, but the thing is that Dragunov right now, is dealing with Dijak, and he still wants the NXT. He still wants the NXT title, and he wants to take it off of Carmelo Hayes. But he also wants to become North American champion as well, and wants to take it off of Wes Lee. There is a lot of business left for him in NXT, but I think But I think with this draft, I think with the draft coming up, I have no doubt in my mind that in my opinion, I truly believe that Dragunov in the main roster will become a huge threat to any champion that he goes after. Whether it's Austin Theory and the United States title, whether it's Gunther and the Intercontinental title, whether it's Roman Reigns and the Undisputed title. It doesn't matter which title he goes after, he will become a massive threat. Grimes, now Cameron Grimes, on the other hand, we haven't seen him in months. The last time we saw him was what, last year? It was sometime last year in the summer. We haven't seen him since. That means he's been hitting the gym, training his fucking ass off, and just popping off. Popping off at the gym, doing his thing, getting ready for the main roster. I think for someone like him, he's more suited to be on Raw, just because of the fact that Dream. Think of some of the matches that we could potentially have. Cameron Grimes versus Austin Theory. Cameron Grimes versus Johnny Gargano. Maybe we might see that. Johnny Gargano versus The Miz. The possibilities are out there. Or we can even also see Grimes join up with Gallows, Anderson, and AJ Styles and Michin in the OC. It's very possible. It's very possible. I know Michin, I know that Mia Yim has been doing her own thing, teaming up with Candice LeRae, but to be fair, she is still technically a part of the OC. And AJ Styles, we haven't seen him in months. He was taken out with a knee injury at a house show several months back, and we haven't seen him since. We don't know much about what's going on with him. We don't know if he had surgery. We haven't heard anything about that, but there's been a lot of rumors going around saying that with this upcoming draft, AJ Styles might end up becoming a free agent, which is actually a good thing, because he could go to either Raw or SmackDown, or if he wanted to, he can go over to NXT and just do his own thing over there, which would be pretty cool. Now, as far as Breakker goes, there's nothing left for Breakker to do in NXT. I think he's ready for the main roster. Axiom is another one that has been making headways, has been making headlines in WWE, and let's not forget, Axiom is from Spain. Maybe he could potentially join the LWO. It's very possible, but the LWO could also be split. So with that being said, the question becomes, how will these potential draft picks affect NXT? The reason being is the reason why I bring up these superstars is because these superstars are main event players in NXT. And the question becomes, who would be their replacement if they do get drafted? For someone like Tyler Bate, it would have to be somebody who has the same quickness and the same power as Tyler Bate, and the only other person that has those accolades, those attributes, if you will, is JD McDonough. As far as Roxanne Perez goes, definitely JC Jane. I can definitely see JC Jane becoming a major player in NXT once Perez jumps ships over to the main roster. Dragunov, on the other hand, I'm gonna go on a limb And I'm gonna say, and this might be weird. This might be the strangest thing I've ever said, but I'm gonna say Apollo Crews. And the reason being is because Apollo Crews has the speed, the agility, the power. He has it all. Tyler Bate does have the exact same thing, but the problem is that Apollo Crews doesn't have a submission ability like Tyler Bate does. People forget that there have been times, you know, on the independent scene over in Europe, there's been times where he's actually utilized submissions from what I've been hearing, which is pretty cool. Now, as far as Cameron Grimes goes, I think the best person to replace Cameron Grimes in NXT, I think would have to be Tony D'Angelo. I think a guy like Tony D'Angelo can definitely have the potential to be a major star in NXT. He just needs to apply himself a lot more than he has been recently over the last year or so. Now, as far as Braun Breaker, let's be real here. Let's be real. It's got to be Von Wagner. Von Wagner, even though Wagner has been on sort of a losing streak as of late, I think with the sudden change that he had, what was it, last week or a couple weeks ago, Wagner has the potential to dominate NXT with an iron fist. Now, as far as Axiom, it has to be Nathan Fraser because, again, speed, agility, power, submission. Axiom can do all that. You want him. You want to have a test of strength. He'll do that. You want to go the mat game. He'll do that too. Submission, done. Power game, clap it up easy. That's how good Axiom is. And all of these superstars have, again, as I said, have the potential to be on the main roster, but how it affects NXT, it would literally take NXT months. I would say about 6 to 8 months for them to find the next Tyler Bate, or the next Roxanne Perez, the next Ilya Dragunov, the next Cameron Grimes, the next Axiom, the next Braun Breaker. It would take them months to find the next version of these superstars, and that could take a long time. It could take weeks, months. For all we know, it could take years. For all we know. But I will say this. I think no matter which superstars from NXT gets drafted over to the main roster, I have no doubt in my mind that those superstars are going to become massive threats to every champion that stands in their way. Whether it's Roman Reigns, whether it's whether it's Roxanne Perez, not Roxanne Perez, whether it's Rhea Ripley, whether it's Bianca Belair, whether it's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, Austin Theory, it doesn't matter. No matter who gets drafted, NXT will be very, very much so impacted by the draft in a way that forces NXT to find the next big star, if you will, which again could take them months. But this brings me to the question of the day, which is this: which superstars from NXT do you guys want to see get drafted to the main roster as part of this year's WWE draft? Let me know down in the comments below, and that will do it for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, which get posted every Monday, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.